everybody. Welcome to you from the studios in Baltimore, Maryland. I'm excited to be sitting here talking a little bit of football tonight. I got an incredible team that's going to be joining us. You know, the boys and the girls, they bring it when they come here, give you the opinion straight. You guys are part of the show. Glad to see so many of you in here tonight. T. Marie's Place is in the house. Monica Molly is here. TJ Brody's already in here early, the irrelevant fan. Joy S. is in the house. We're going to have some fun here tonight. Tonight's dais, let's talk about it. Sanudo's coming in. Escapades of PJJ, bringing his love of the Chargers, his quick wit, and the quick reaction to get Kelly fired up when he's in here, which I always love that part. Jumping in will be Bryson for the love of the mouse. Denver's best is coming to join us tonight to give us his input. A little bit of West Coast feel as we get on the show. It's a little magic from the Pop-Ball Show as Gene is in-house tonight, back with us. You're going to see a lot with Gene here throughout the fall as we do our second show, and we'll talk more about that a little bit later. And back on top, it's Ken Sconson finished. You guys know him as the man with the best beard on the dais. Yes, right now Gene is cringing backstage. But Ken is back in with us, guys, and I'm really excited to see him, chat with him, and have some fun. So let's jump over to headlines real quick. I always hit a couple of headlines before I bring my dais in just to cover a couple quick things. So just update real quick. Highlights here to the Breakers. 2,000 yards throwing out there. Your quarterback there, I think he's going to be really something. He might be somebody that we look at and see as a late NFL add-on to a club when they're done their season. But passing 2,000 yards with the Breakers, doing an awesome job. And also, quick highlight that Leonard Floyd was signed over by the Bills. So we're happy and excited about that. The team is full when they're in here. These are all the peeps that bring us the magic on the channel, and you'll see them throughout the year. If you don't know about them, you can find their links directly on the front of my YouTube channel, also over on PeteMcDavidShow.com. With that all said, let's get everybody in here. Let's get rolling. Gentlemen, it is good to see you. I'll start up in the upper left corner with the second best beard, third best beard, fourth best beard. Gene, you just got blocked out. What's up, brother? How are you?
Yeah, I don't even know what to say. You know what? But if I have to be bumped down to bring Ken back, I'm happy. I haven't seen Ken in a while, and I do have his quarterback now, so that's a bonus for me, I guess.
Yeah, you stole his quarterback in the offseason. Stephen Smith, welcome in. Good to see you back in here. Gene had a great show today on the Pop-Off. I was telling him about the show. I was listening to that. If you're not watching that, we'll talk about it later on, but make sure you're following that. I'm going to save the best for last. I'm going to go down to Sanudo in my lower left-hand corner. I'm going to take you for the block. How you doing?
Doing great, Pete. I'm looking at this poll, and it looks like 36% of the people didn't vote for me. It just means that my wife must have logged into all of her accounts and voted for somebody else. That's just what it means.
I think that's a great possibility. All of a sudden, 44%, boom, it's going quick. I don't know. It is a facial hair night, Molly, and I feel like I've been left out of this party. But let's go. Let's go Rocky Mountain High. And my man, Bryson, who's Denver Broncos, I think are going to be pretty good this year. And I'm loving the hat. I am loving the hat.
Thank you. It's also parade day because my Denver Nuggets are the NBA champions.
How about that, brother?
There's a parade in my city today. It was awesome.
Yeah, that's got to feel good, man. They played really well.
That Ball Arena, man. Avalanche and the Nuggets. It's amazing times right now.
Good times. Now, if we can just get Russell Wilson to figure out the party, you'll be all right, right?
Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Absolutely. Ken, good to see you back, brother. Green Bay, they still have a team. They just got a lot of love up there right now.
Yeah, Gene's team took our quarterback. We have a quarterback, I think. We'll see how it goes. He looks great in camp, but either way, we're going to play some football this year. Packers fan for life, so no matter what happens.
I love it. Well, let's jump over to topic number one, gentlemen. And this is an interesting one. C.J. Stroud came out all over social media and said, hey, these are my top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL. I thought it was going to surprise him because you can really tick off some other people. He has it as Allen, Mahomes, Burrow, Allen, or Hurts, Mahomes, Burrow, Allen, and Fields as number 5. Bryson, why don't you start this one off on this one? Is he right? Is he wrong? What are you thinking?
So the first 4, you could put however you want. I don't care. Justin Fields, I'm a huge Justin Fields fan, but right there, that's just like, in my opinion, he's throwing his Ohio State buddy a bone there, his predecessor. That's how like I said, I am a Justin Fields fan. Maybe I'll put him in the top 10 or 12, but I don't know about top 5.
I'm not sure if I'm putting him next to them myself. Ken, what are you thinking when you see that shot?
I'm with him. I'm not a Justin Fields fan for obvious reasons up here. I got to put Justin Herbert there. I'm good with the first 4. Justin Herbert for me, though, is going to be number 5. I think that Justin Herbert, I love the quarter. He's a great quarterback, right? He hasn't proven a lot yet, but when he is in big games, the slug out with the Bills a couple of years ago, or was
Yeah.
that last year? In that rookie, I took notes here. What's that rookie's name?
For which team?
I'm messing up already. Quentin Johnson.
Quentin Johnson.
He was a great slot receiver in college. I think he's going to do the same thing in the NFL. Mike Williams is probably going to get hurt again, as always. I think he'll be the number 2. I think Justin Herbert's going to have a huge year. He'll be number 5.
Interesting. Gene, what are you thinking when you look at this list?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's just him tossing a bone to his old Ohio State buddy. Fields, I don't even know if he's in the top half of the league. We still got to see what he can do over the course of a full season.
Yeah.
I would probably take him and Josh Allen out. I know people say it's blasphemous to take Josh Allen out of the top 5, but I would put Herbert, and I think Jackson's really going to take a giant leap. I know to say that someone with an MVP taking a leap forward is I know it sounds ridiculous, but I think he's going to finally have his first full healthy year, and I think he's going to be a monster this year. So good for you, Peter, if he does. But I take those 2 last guys out, and I put in Herbert and Jackson myself.
Herbert and Jackson. Oh, I like that. Okay, interesting.
Putting a running back in.
Interesting. Sanudo, are we bringing your quarterback in for the Chargers?
Yeah, I think everybody already stole all of my thunder because he's got the wrong Justin in there. It's Justin Herbert. But I do think Lamar Jackson too. And I also think that Trevor Lawrence is getting close to that top 5, I think. But can we all look at this list? And he's got Jalen Hurts ahead of Patrick Mahomes. I mean, just if it was like, 2 days before the draft and I asked this guy for his top 5 quarterbacks and he gave me this, he'd be out of my first round. I wouldn't even draft him, if I was a team. Come on.
Yeah, I thought it was a little crazy too. When I saw this, it jumped off the page at me. And I was like, I got to bring this into the show. So I agree with everybody across the dais. Ryan Rowe, good to see you, my friend. Thank you for coming in. Stranger, what's up? Stranger Danger. And Aaron Rodgers himself is in the chat. We'll start out with Ken on this one. I threw this up there. I thought this was kind of neat. Will these second-year quarterbacks take a leap in 2023? Now, this was put out there by Chris Trapezo. He's over on CBS. And what he put was for Pickett, most likely. Purdy, can he get better? Maybe. He put him as 2. He put Desmond Ritter. Don't be shocked. I actually liked Ritter over in Cincinnati when he played in college. Sam Howell, probably not with Washington. And Malik Willis, absolutely not happening with Tennessee. Ken, roll with it. What are you thinking when you see all this?
I'm going to talk about Brock Purdy on this list, Mr. Irrelevant, who came in through 16 touchdowns, 3 interceptions before he got hurt in the NFC Championship, right? I think that Brock Purdy is going to have a great year. Hopefully he gets the start. I think they're still talking about who's going to start in San Francisco. But I think Brock Purdy can be a future Hall of Famer in this league. I really like Mr. Irrelevant.
Wow, that's a bold statement early. I like it. Okay. Gene, you're up.
I like the Kenny Pickett spot right there. I probably switch. I know, people can probably go crazy. I probably switch Ritter and Purdy. My thing is, don't be shocked for Purdy, but my thing is, can Ritter get better? I think Ritter's in a great situation. He's got a good offense there. You're gonna have improved running game this year. He has a ton of weapons to throw the ball to. Purdy, I don't know if he's a system quarterback yet. I haven't seen him through enough to know if he's a system quarterback or not. I think we need to see him in a full season. If he even gets to start, you never know. He might go to camp and Sam Darnold might beat him out. That system, it might be good for Sam Darnold. I know that's one of my hot takes earlier this year is that Sam Darnold might be the guy there. But I would probably switch those 2. And Howell, I kind of like Howell. I don't think we've seen enough of him. He only had the one game.
Yeah.
So who knows what we could see there. But I definitely agree with 1 and 5. I think those are pretty much locks.
Okay, I got it. Cinnarello, what are you talking about, Willis?
Kenny Pickett, I think he's pretty close to his ceiling, to be honest with you. I don't think there's much more that he can go in this league. Okay. Brock Purdy, I don't even know if he's going to play in 2023, right? I think he's even said if he doesn't know if he's going to play. Maybe that's some smoke screen, but I got a feeling that he doesn't play all that much this year. Desmond Ritter, he's an enigma. He's been given the opportunity and he's failed so far. Sam Howell, living down here in the Richmond area, we get a lot of Washington media, and everybody's talking about how good his accuracy is in training camp. I think he's the one who's going to make the biggest leap out of all this. And Malik Willis, I'll be honest with you, in 24 months, I wouldn't be surprised if he's in the XFL.
That's a good call. That's a great call, actually. I was going to say at the end, he could leap to the XFL. But you took my thunder. Good way to be on it. I love it when the guys are on it. Bryson, What's your thoughts as we sum this up?
I hope for Dave's sake that Kenny Pickett is most likely to make the biggest jump. It's easier to text with him when the Steelers are doing okay. Brock Purdy, I would say, if he plays, can you be just as good? Like, you don't have to be better. Like, just can you still be what you were? Like, or was that just like you being no film and people learning about you?
Good call.
Desmond Ridder, I agree. I liked him at Cincinnati. I wouldn't be shocked if he was halfway decent. Sam Howell.
He's got more weapons too this year, Redder does.
Yeah, exactly. I think Bijan Robinson takes a lot of weight off of his shoulders.
He's going to be a stud.
As long as they can open the holes for him.
Yeah.
Sam Howell, okay. Do whatever you do. At one point in time, there was past Bryson who wanted the Broncos to draft Sam Howell. So I guess I've changed my tune on him.
I guess so.
And Malik Willis, I'm going to say the USFL because I was going to say the XFL, but you took that from me. So I'm going to say that's where he's going.
He'll be in another FL somewhere
Yes.
along the line is what we're all thinking. So I like that. All right. Gene's turn for bouncing back. We're going to bounce back. This was, guys, I gave you this screen to look at here because I loved it. This is your favorite player that should bounce back in 2023. Obviously, that's a huge category always with the NFL as you talk about players that can go back and make a huge difference with the team that they're on or their new team, depending on how it works. Sam H., welcome in. Good to see you, buddy. What do you think? Let's start with Gene. Who is your most likely to have the biggest bounce back year?
You know what? Well, okay, I'll say the two that I don't think. Trey Lance bounced back from what? We don't even know what he is yet. So that's where I'll start with that. And as far as biggest bounce back year, I said it before. I like Lamar Jackson staying healthy this year and actually having a full season. The money thing is out of the way. The contract is out of the way. That's the pressure's off on that. I don't think he just got his bag and now he's ready to go home. I think he's gonna try to prove that it's worth every penny of that check that he's gonna get. So I have him as my biggest bounce back candidate of the season is Lamar Jackson.
Lamar Jackson. Well, he doesn't even know that there's actually playoffs. So we'll see what we'll see what happens. We'll see if your call is right. Sanudo, what are you thinking?
Going to Fitz is Lamar Jackson. The only way Lamar Jackson bounces back is if Odell Beckham bounces back as well. So I think if there was a vote on these things, I think they're going to cancel each other out. I like this. I'm a big fan of Michael Thomas, but I think he's done. Trey Lance, I think, is going to prove himself this year because the thing is, he finally has. I mean, he's got the chance. If he stays healthy, maybe he wins back the job. But I think the biggest boomer bust right now is Russell Wilson. If he doesn't win bounce back candidate of the year, he's not a Denver Bronco next year.
Oh, I agree with that. That's a good call out. Welcome into Surf Bum John. Good to see you, buddy. And also Mike Beachman joined us as well. Great to see you guys in here. Bryson, we'll go to you after that transitional comment. Is your guy, is Russ on the bus out of town or to the stadium?
Currently to the stadium, but if he doesn't have a bounce back year, Snudo's right. He's completely out of here, and Sean Payton's pretty much said as much. And the way they've constructed the roster, it looks that way. I'm not going to be a homer, though, and take him. I really want to see Michael Thomas. I've always liked Michael Thomas, and the guy, season 3 since we've seen him play? Like, he hasn't played for 2 or 3 years. So I want to see him bounce back. He's a good guy. He's not he has his diva moments, but you know what I mean by he's not the true diva wide receiver.
Yeah, he's not.
So I'd love to see him bounce back.
Not Tio. That's a good thing.
Correct.
All right, I like the Michael Thomas call out. Patty Puddles is in house. Puddle says there's a lot of pressure on Russell Wilson to get his game back on. It is. I agree with that. Ken, what are you thinking here? Who is your comeback, bounce back player?
So I had one on the list and one question mark I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
Mine on the list is Russell Wilson. I will add, I agree with everything these guys said, but I do think Sean Payton makes him he has a better season in Denver this year than he had last year, I think, with Sean Payton. My question mark is Jonathan Taylor with the Colts.
Ooh.
I think Jonathan Taylor has a shot. Last year was a disaster for Indianapolis. Their stats bottom of the league. I think the third worst offense in the league. 3% of plays that went over 15 yards or something like that for him. I think with a new head coach and a new quarterback, Anthony Richardson, which somehow has already gotten the name of Cam Jackson.
Oh.
I think Jonathan Taylor bounces back a lot better than he was last year. I'm looking for a good season with Jonathan Taylor.
Okay, interesting. My two on here, I think are really going to do. I think it's going to be, for me, Waller. I think is going to have a. It's both tight ends for me. I think it's Waller and Pitts. I think Waller in a system here, he's going to be the focus guy in New York, in my opinion, with what they're going to do. They do a lot of tight end stuff anyway. He's a great player in New York there. And then Pitts, I think you're going to see the kid from Cincinnati step up a little bit. I think it's going to be a heavier focus on the throw than and use the run to take off the throw. So I think Pitts gets a lot more balls, and it'll be interesting to see. So interesting. I like it. Oh, and Aaron Rodgers says, bounce back. Calvin Ridley. That's a good call out.
Ooh, I didn't.
That's a great call out.
Yeah.
Ridley could be. What do you guys think? Let's go around real quick. Justin, start it out. What do you think about Ridley?
I know it's a little bit different from running backs to wide receivers, but when you take essentially a year off from the NFL, it's hard to be bouncing right back. And that's kind of where Calvin Ridley is. And it wasn't an injury thing. It's more of, it's a suspension thing. And I just don't know if he's ready to play again. So okay. That's the only reason for me.
Gene, I'll go to you next. What do you think? Ridley, you going to bet on him?
Yeah, you know what? I didn't even. Shame on me because if I would have been thinking clearly, I would have picked him too. That's a great call out. I mentioned him. I think I mentioned him on your show a couple weeks ago, and I mentioned him on my show a couple weeks ago as well. I know that much on different things. I love Kevin Ridley with the Jaguars this year. I think he is going to be a bounce back player. That's a good call by Aaron Rodgers.
Good call out. Jacksonville, Ken Ridley. Yes, no.
Yeah, I mean, exactly what these guys have said. Hopefully he's kept himself in shape because he didn't have much else to do.
That's true.
So, yeah, I think it's a good call, yeah. And Aaron Rodgers is a good friend of mine. He's actually interning with Fox Sports. So
really? That's freaking awesome.
And he's a Packers fan, so that's even better.
Well, maybe we need to get him on the dais here one night.
There you go.
Aaron Rodgers, you got my DM. Reach out to me if you're interested. Let me know. Bryson, what are you thinking?
Oh, everything everybody said. There's no reason he can't be. I mean, we all know the reason why he didn't play. It's not like he's coming back from an ACL or anything like that. So get in shape, take some hits, catch some balls. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, I liked Ridley when he was in Atlanta. I think he'll be good down there. All right, Sanudo, you're up. We're going to talk about potential top 5 breakout wide receivers of 2023. This is the list that everybody's kind of throwing out. You can mix them up any way you want. But they've got Wilson, who I already thought was a breakout receiver last year for the Jets, but they've got him as number 1 up there. Olave, Drake London, good player, Thornton, and Ross. Is this part of your top 5 interchanged any way you want, or is there somebody that's missing?
Well, I agree with you that Garrett Wilson was, he's already a top 15 wide receiver. He's got a Hall of Fame quarterback now. Let's see if he can actually throw the ball, but that's something else. I do think that of this, the guys that I like Olave a lot. I know he was a first round pick coming out, but I didn't like him coming out of college. Last year he showed me something, and with now a little bit better quarterback, in my opinion, a little bit better quarterback there in New Orleans, I think he's going to have a heck of a year. And some guy who hasn't lived up to his potential yet, Drake London. He runs about as fast as a cheetah. And hopefully Ridley can get him the ball. Part of London's problem, of course, was staying healthy too. But I think the ones that are going to break out, because I already think Wilson's a breakout, is Olave and London. I think those two have pretty good years.
Okay. Bryson, up to you.
Garrett Wilson and Olave, I agree with that. Drake London, if he stays healthy, as you said, yes. Thornton, he's got Mac Jones as his quarterback, so there's probably some issues there. And I hope Justin Ross doesn't do anything, because that means he's doing it against my team.
Well, that'd be interesting there. Let me ask you this real quick, Bryson, since you brought up Thornton there. Do you think if they end up with getting the kid from Arizona who's trying to find a home right now, Hopkins,
oh, yeah.
Do you think it makes Thornton better because Hopkins is getting doubled?
Yes, that would change a lot, actually. I mean, obviously, because Hopkins demands so much. So you go from getting not just doubled, but also probably getting the number 1 cornerback following him.
Yeah.
Now you have him on Hopkins, so now you've gone down the depth chart a little bit. So I can see Thornton. Yeah, that would definitely help him for sure.
Okay.
Can I play devil's advocate of that one, Pete?
Sure, go ahead before I go to the other guys.
Hopkins is pretty much a downfield threat. you got a quarterback who can't throw the ball downfield. So why would you double team him? You wouldn't double team Hopkins because there's no reason to.
That's
So I don't think it does.
Just play safety over
You
the
might take a
top.
safety over the top.
Yeah, play safety over the
Maybe.
top on him.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I love this, and again, I'm just throwing it out there because that's the latest word that it looks like Hopkins might be going there. Obviously, we'll find out something in the next couple of weeks. You got a couple guys out there that have not signed yet, but he's one of the top ones. Ken, what's your thought on this list? Top 5 breakouts.
Yeah, I pretty much agree. I mean, Garrett Wilson, Aaron Rodgers. What else do you need to say, right? It's an instant upgrade. I think the Derek Carr is an upgrade also for New Orleans. I'm going to add, and Aaron Rodgers said in the chat, he said Romeo Doubs. This was going to be my one homer pick of the night, and that's Christian Watson. I can see Romeo Doubs also because Jordan Love and Christian Watson, when they played together last year, they looked great. He's looked great with Doubs in training camp this year. Obviously, in Green Bay, we don't know what's going to happen, but I think there's a good shot for one of those two guys too.
Okay, that's a good call. I like Christian. He's got some tools. It'll be if he can get the ball. That's the whole key. Timing is a key thing. So, Gene, you want to finish this one up?
Yeah, I agree with the first 3. The last 2 I take out, and you know what? I like Dobbs and I like Watson, but I don't put them on there just because that question with the quarterback. What I do put in there is I think George Pickens has a big jump this year from Pittsburgh, and I think Jordan Addison out of the gate is going to be a stud over there in Minnesota. He's already going to kind of like what a little bit like Bryce said about going there, getting the number 2 corner. He's not going to have to. He's probably going to get the slot corner, maybe even definitely not going to get the first with Justin Jefferson there. So I like the Jordan Addison pickup from the draft this year for them.
Yeah, I like that. Throughout the night, my moderators are putting the links in for the everybody's YouTube channel. You can click on that. You can follow them if you want to follow them on their YouTube channel. I highly encourage it. We also have their Instagram, I guess handle is the best way to say it. How you can find them on Instagram if you want to leave them a message or reply to one of their comments or inquire. And again, if you're enjoying the show, watching it live here or on the playback, do me a favor, hit that subscribe, come back and join us in the chat more often. We'd love that. Let's jump over. It's time to go back up to Bryson. Okay. Yep.
One quick thing, Pete. Remember when Sky Moore was the next big thing in Kansas City?
Yeah, where's he been?
Yeah, I drafted him in fantasy football.
What happened? Yeah, what happened to Sky Moore? I mean, did he fall off the cliff that badly?
I think so. I think it's just I don't think he's clicked with Mahomes is what it is as far as the timing and stuff. I think that's been the big factor. And if you don't click, I mean, if you don't click with Patrick, there's only so many balls to go around. He's going to go where he feels comfortable. I think that's kind of what it's come down to. I would not be surprised to see him traded off at some point this year to another team, try to get another opportunity somewhere. All right, Bryson, started off. Let's prognosticate. Where will Dalvin Cook play next season? Is it Miami, Buffalo, Kansas City, Dallas, or the question mark behind the door? You pick the right one, you get a prize of some sort. What do you think?
Ooh, a prize. That's exciting. I'm going to say what everybody's been saying so far, all the pundits. Miami looks like the logical choice for him. They need him. Like they truly do. He would be able to do what he feels he still can do. But in my heart of hearts, I kind of want him to go to Buffalo just for some reason. I don't know why. I just do. I feel like he would definitely be the missing piece for them there. The other 2 teams I don't care about.
Okay. Ken?
Yeah, I mean, I guess Miami looks like the spot, but Buffalo, if they don't figure out a way to get him there, I think they're making a mistake. Buffalo has been on the verge of greatness for the last couple of years. I think he'd put them over the top. And I think finally Buffalo would actually go deep in the playoffs and maybe even win more.
Interesting.
He would instantly make them better than they are now. I love Buffalo. Obviously, I'm a Packers fan, but I love watching Buffalo play. I think they got to try to get him.
Got to try to get him. Miami, Buffalo, Gene, where you got him going? Don't say the
we already have a Hall of Fame running back, maybe even 2. But you know what? With the Dolphins, it seems like such a logical fit. But you know what? Kind of to the same point where Ken said with Buffalo, I got to say Dallas has got to be in on this because Pollard's coming back from an injury. We don't know really what he is coming back from that injury. It would make such logical sense for them to be really in on him. And the one mystery team that I don't get why they aren't involved, they have some cap space, they could do it. the Cincinnati Bengals. I just don't trust Mixon. I don't think Mixon is a star back. They could bring someone like Dalvin Cook in here into Cincinnati. You know, that offense is already potent. How much more potent could it be? It would be lights out.
Okay, I like it. Interesting. Sanudo, you're up. Wild card. What do you got?
I agree with that Bengals call. That's one of the teams I was thinking of. You know, and Dallas, Pollard's got a history of injuries in it, so I think Dalvin Cook would fit in there. Another team that nobody's thought about, they're a couple years off of a Super Bowl win, but the Rams, I think he would fit in with the Rams pretty well. You know, they not the greatest. Here's my problem though. I feel like he's going to end up in some place like Las Vegas or Houston or something. I just have a feeling that he's going to end up in obscurity for the next couple of years.
It'd be interesting. Jerry Jones may overpay if he thinks he needs it. That's one thing about him for sure. Aaron Rodgers says the Eagles, the way they want to run the ball, how much legs is possible? I don't know. I mean, they got a lot of backs over there. It's only so many balls to feed out. Movie Mania Nick says Buffalo is missing those few pieces, and Cook could be one of them. He agrees there. Sam H says Dallas. TJ Brody's just saying hello to everybody. And he says, I can see him with the Bills. We need him. Obviously, wanting him for that, so that's interesting. All right, bold predictions. I don't know why. It has to be something with the screen, but it keeps killing that second spot on me. I'm going to have to try to figure a way to fix that because Ken was in here. I went in and fixed that before the whole show started. So I don't know why it's still doing it. Bold predictions. I think we are on Ken's spot, right? Is this yours to start, I believe, with bold predictions? You didn't start the last one, right?
No, I don't think so.
It's yours. But top 5 bold predictions. These are ones that I kind of pulled together and threw out for the remainder of the offseason. My bold predictions. Dalvin Cook signs with Miami. DeAndre Hopkins goes to Patriots. I was talking about that a little bit earlier. Trey Lance stays with the 49ers and is the starting quarterback. I should have put that in there. Chase Young ends up in Detroit, making that defense ridiculous for them. And Kareem Hunt, somebody I think might end up a good place for him to go, good back, and I think he'd do a good job with, is Denver. So, Ken, what do you think of my bold predictions? Where am I right? Where am I crazy?
I think again, we talked about Dalvin Cook. I think you're probably right about that, although I think Buffalo needs to do what they can to get him. I do think Trey Lance stays in San Francisco. I didn't mention this earlier because I had already talked enough, but, you know, my Brock Purdy talk, that's all dependent on what they do with Trey Lance. I do think Trey Lance is probably going to start the season as the starter. I think he'll stay there. Chase Young, I hope he does not go to Detroit because I'm a Green Bay fan. That's my thoughts.
Okay. Gene?
I got to agree with the Dalvin Cook point right there. DeAndre Hopkins to New England, he's there. They say he's going to be there for the next 2 days, meeting with them. Listen, he'd be great there, but he'll be great anywhere. If I'm him, I'm looking for a place with in a better winning situation. He met with Cleveland. I thought Cleveland was such an ideal fit for him. You could be across from Amari Cooper. Who do you guard? You know, whether you get the first or second corner, who knows? Because both guys are tremendous. So I always thought Cleveland might be the best spot for him. Trey Lance, I think he's there. I don't know if he starts, but I think he's there for the year. One that I say that wows me is this Chase Young to Detroit. If that was to happen, now we're talking some serious firepower in the NFC North with Detroit. They already got the offense. If they start adding to that defense like that could be a scary team.
Okay. Welcome into Sebastian the Crab. Jeff says Hopkins left New England after 2 days without a contract. That's true. Justin, you're up. What do you think?
Let's start with Hopkins. He put out a list of quarterbacks he would like to play with. Pretty sure Mac Jones was not on that list, so I don't see him going to New England. Dalvin Cook with Miami. That's, you know, if I was a betting man and I had good odds, that's probably who I'd go with. Trey Lance, again, I already talked about him. I think he's staying this year, and I think he probably wins comeback player of the year, in my opinion. Chase Young, the writing's on the wall. They didn't pick up his 5th-year option, so he's already on the trade block. The Lions would be a good fit if the Commanders, about to say the Skins, the Commanders can get some compensation for him. Again, it's in the last year, so what are they going to get a 5th round maybe out of him? And Kareem Hunt, does he have much in the tank anymore? I don't know if he ends up, you know, wherever he goes, if he's a game changer at all. Go to the Broncos, that's fine. It's just another washed-up running back that they'll have.
Okay. Bryson?
I just had to get that little shot in right there, just right at the end. I already said Dalvin Cook, the Dolphins. Hopkins, I think it's a coin flip between the Titans and the Patriots. Trey Lance, they got to see what they have. They still haven't had a chance to see what they traded all those draft picks for. So they got to give him a chance. Chase Young, that would be amazing. That defense would be nasty. Like Dan Campbell would be just in heaven if that happened.
Yeah.
Kareem Hunt, I don't want to happen. I don't think it will because everything around here on sports radio and everything says that they're happy with what they got, that Williams' knee is like on pace. He's already been like practicing, doing drills. So I don't see that one happening.
Okay. Like it. Two quick call-outs. Bold prediction. Stranger said, my prediction is Chris Jones follows Orlando Brown to the Bengals. Throwing that out there. So I thought that was interesting. TJ also brought up about the Bills. I didn't have this really in there because it kind of happened a little bit crazy, but let's talk real quick if you guys are on pace. I know I'm throwing a curveball at you. If you saw the news today, welcome in, Road Warrior. Good to see you. Is that there's a lot going on with Diggs in Buffalo right now in a mess. Gene, you up on that? You want to highlight any of that? You familiar with that?
Yeah, it looks like they squashed a bit of a beef they had. He came in and he saw the playbook supposedly and was not happy with the playbook, and then he kind of took his physical and went home. But I think just recently, just a little earlier today, they said that they've actually squashed the beef and everything's back to normal and he should be good to go going forward. It's from what it sounded like was that he came in, saw the playbook was the same as last year's, didn't change all his concerns, and then just basically was like, "Well, I'm going home." When it's like, well, why didn't you say something? You should have had more input. You had the last 3 months to have some input on what you wanted this offense to look like. You wait till the day of, and then you come in and you go home and you pout. But he's not going to go anywhere. He's getting paid too much money to catch balls in Buffalo. I wish he'd want to go. I wish he'd demand a trade as a Jet fan. I wish he'd go somewhere else. But he'll be in Buffalo killing us this year, I'm sure.
I don't see him going where anybody else. Anybody else want to jump in on Diggs before we hit the next topic? Or?
Yeah, I wanted to add. I mean, I don't know if you saw. So Josh Allen was interviewed, and basically, I think Josh Allen showed a lot of leadership, saying, "We love Diggs here. We want Diggs. We got to get him the ball." And then the next, I think that was yesterday. Today, you hear Diggs is back. So I think Josh Allen, he's a leader. I think he helped there.
That's a good play. That's a good play. All right, it's Gene's turn. We're going to talk about some free agents. Free agents. So these are the top three. Now we've talked about a couple of them out here, but there's a couple we didn't that I think are 3, 4, and 5 there, and I kind of like to get everybody. God, I hate this. I got to figure out why that's doing that. I hope I don't.
Why you keep messing with me, man?
It's not me. It's the system. I reset everything. I hope I don't have to go back and rebuild this whole thing again. Yannick Ngakoue, that's a big one, big free agent there. Peters hasn't been signed. He's a great cornerback. He's just too much money. That's why we let him go. And then Dalton Risner, the guard. So these are listed as the top 5 by ESPN. We've talked about the top 2 in length already today, but just kind of like to get your guys' opinions on any of those other 3, or maybe some other free agent might be out there that you think should have been up there that wasn't listed. Gene?
Yeah, I mean, again, Dalvin Cook, I think Miami will kind of pretty much said it. Again, DeAndre Hopkins, I think Cleveland would be a tremendous fit for him. I would love to see him over there in Cleveland. Not that I would love to see him go against my Jets, but I would love to see that fit.
I don't want to. Hold on, time out. I don't want to see him in Cleveland.
You don't think he'd be good there?
If he goes to Cleveland, I'm coming to New York.
Oh, my bad. That's right. My bad.
If he goes to Cleveland, I'm coming to New York and I'm shaving your beard myself. No, I don't.
I wasn't thinking.
Well, I'll tell you what. My Raven.
Well, yeah, but you know what? It gives Marcus Peters a good reason to go back to Baltimore. Right? Well, it gives him a good reason to bring him back. I think his price tag is going to drop. I wouldn't be surprised if you find him back in Baltimore at the end of the day. And Yannick Ngakoue, listen, if I could bring him to the Jets, I think he's still got a little gas in the tank, man. I would take Ngakoue in a minute. I don't know who's in on him right now, but I would love to see him. You know, we need to add a little bit to our defense, a little here and there. I don't think he's a 3-down player anymore, but a 1 to 2. He's not. But you know what? He could still fill a need.
Yeah, I agree. That's a good point, Justin.
I think I was reading the other day. Ngakoue is the only player for the last 8 years to have 8 or more sacks every year for the last 8 years. He's consistent. I understand he's just, he's not going to play the running downs, and that's okay because this isn't a running league anymore. So I think he's one of the better free agents out there. You talk about Marcus Peters and thinking his price is going to come down. I think his price is going to go up because he's going to skip training camp, and we're going to have some injuries, and people are going to be coming for Peters, and Peters is going to say, "Show me the money." Resner is a very good interior offensive lineman. I don't know why the Broncos let him go. I don't follow Broncos well enough as some others on the dais. But I will say one thing: he isn't a free agent. And it was brought up a second ago. And Chris Jones. Chris Jones. If you don't know him, he's a top 5 defensive player. And he is, even though he's not a name in the league that the common follower may know. If he gets out of Kansas City's going to have a lot of problems because he holds that defense together, and he's a heck of a player. Even though he's not a free agent this year, he's got 1 year left on the deal, and he's looking either to get traded or to get signed. So somebody was talking about him earlier, but just going back is he's a heck of a player. And if Kansas City loses him, it's almost as bad as losing Mahomes, almost.
Wow, that is a great call, and I didn't think about that. Gene is texting me. He wants me to do this. I don't know. He must have changed teams.
Welcome to the Dog Pound.
He's so excited about Cleveland tonight right there. So, Bryson, what do you got?
Ngakoue, I wanted the Broncos to sign him, but we signed Frank Clark this week instead.
You did.
Which I'm fine with. Marcus Peters, I agree with Sanudo. I think he is going to be one of those, somebody gets hurt and he says, back up the truck, show me money. Reisner, so I forget what week it was. It was the week Nathaniel Hackett got fired. He got in a shoving match with the backup quarterback because the backup quarterback had to tell him to help his teammates up when Russell Wilson got sacked because he let a guy get through. He caused a sideline altercation, which led to Hackett getting fired, which did not sit well with the owner. And the owner basically said, no way. And they went and signed Ben Jones from the Titans, who was the number 1 free agent offensive guard. So that's why they upgraded, in layman's terms, with Ben Jones. I still can't believe he's a free agent. Supposedly the Cowboys are after him. Somebody I don't see on this list, though, is Ezekiel Elliott.
Elliott hasn't been signed anywhere yet. Right.
Been signed anywhere. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't think he has a lot of tread on the tires, but if we're going to sit here and talk about Dalvin Cook, who took a lot of carries in Minnesota, Ezekiel Elliott, I mean, Jerry Jones thought he was worth $80 million at one point, so now nobody wants him.
Yeah, that's a good point. Okay. Ken, finish this one up.
Yeah, I wanted to mention, I know we talked about Dalvin Cook, DeAndre Hopkins, but I read that, so Dalvin Cook basically trying to downplay, he said, he's not in a hurry. He wants to go where he's valued, who's going to pay him the money. But you are in a hurry because there's only 2 months left really until the season starts. You got to learn a playbook. You got to get in there and at least practice with those guys a little bit. So you are in a hurry, Dalvin Cook, even if you say you're not. But, yeah, I mean, the only thing I'd really say on this, those last two, Marcus Peters, Dalton Reisner, I would love to see one of those in Green Bay. I think we need some, a guard would be great to protect Love a little bit. Defense looks good though. That's where I'm at with it.
Like it. Good calls all the way around. All right, it's going to be Sanudo's time to talk about some duos. You like talking about duos out there, doo-wopping, 2-on-1, right 2 guys to take on the team and take it to another level. Which new quarterback wide receiver duo are you most looking forward to? You got some good ones. Rodgers and Wilson, new one. Fields and Moore, new one. Beckham and Jackson, new one. Or is there one we're missing? Start us off, Justin.
I think there's 2 easy calls right here on the screen. I'm going to go with the third call because I've heard that Fields and DJ Moore have been clicking really well during training camp. And I got a feeling that, again, we talked about how good of quarterback is Fields really is. He hasn't had that many wide receivers. And I'm not saying DJ Moore is a game changer, but he's better than anything that they've had. And I really think that it's easy to say Rodgers as well. So it's easy to say Jackson and Odell Beckham. But I really think it's going to be Fields and DJ Moore this year.
Okay. Fields and DJ Moore for Sanudo. Bryson, what are you thinking? You like any of these 3 or is it somebody else?
Fields and Moore for sure intrigue me because Moore has never had a quarterback and he still did well. Like, I think that, like I've said in previous shows, Fields finally has a coach who has figured out how to play him, and adding DJ Moore, I think, is potentially bad for Ken because they play him.
Bad for Ken.
True story.
Ken, we'll throw that over to you then.
Yeah, no, that's a true story. I don't want to see Justin Fields do well, but I do think also DJ Moore is an instant upgrade to what they had. So could be danger for us. Although I'll say that one thing that Aaron Rodgers did before he left Green Bay, he sold his share of the Bears to Jordan Love. So Jordan Love does own the Bears. I'm just saying. That's a joke. We'll see what happens.
It's a good joke.
But I'm going to throw in, though, I mean, this is not a homer pick, but I really want to see, I'm looking forward to this, and that's seeing Jordan Love and Christian Watson. I want to see what these guys are able to do. It could be a terrible year. It could be a bust, but I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do. And for the record, I coined hashtag I believe in love. When that takes off, just know it started right here.
Okay, there we go. We got it starting right here. And Gene, what are you thinking?
I love all these, all three of these here, but you know, and I think we talked about this a few weeks ago, and someone reminded me just earlier in the show, Lawrence and Ridley, Trevor Lawrence, Calvin Ridley. I think is going to be a nice tandem this year, and I'm excited to see what they do. That's
a good call out. Like it. All
Can
right,
I throw out one more?
Yeah,
go. We talked about it earlier, but I really do think this is going to be a great duo for the next couple of years. Is Carr and Olave. I really think that they can be a really good duo starting this year.
That's another great call out. I love it. Movie Mania Nick says we all know what Justin is going to say about the Jets. I don't know, Justin.
Nice.
Are you going to say bad things about the Jets? Remember, Movie Mania Nick watches this stream in the nude, so you don't want to get him too upset.
Well, listen, Aaron Rodgers, if he can get off of the Hayabusa or whatever it is that he's taking, maybe he's a good quarterback. I don't know.
Ken, do you have a snake about to attack you? What's going on or Gene? What is it in the corner there? Is it a cat? Snake?
Oh, it's a cat. Yeah, it's one of the cats we have.
Oh, look like
was this tail?
Cat's tail. Looked like you were about to be bit by an anaconda. What was going on? EC3, welcome in. All right, we got two last topics here. This one's a good one. Bryson's hiding all the time. I don't know why. I had refix this. I'm gonna have to rebuild this whole thing.
I was here. I witnessed you fixing it. Yeah.
Whoa! Now he's gone.
Now I'm just gone. We'll see you guys.
Is that my conscience?
Spot number 2. Where did spot 2 go?
You keep inviting me. If you don't want me here, just don't text me, man.
No, it wasn't me. It's the system. It's fired up for some reason. I'm just going to leave it like that for right now. Let's talk about this, Bright. Biggest bust of the decade. Is this gentleman on the screen the biggest bust, or is it somebody else?
I don't know. Supposedly he's making Aaron Rodgers' life hell every day in practice, right? That's what he said.
That came from him, though.
Man, I want to say no.
What's up, CPH?
But he was the second pick, which isn't his fault. Oh, man. I don't know. I'm undecided on this. I can't give you an answer. I'm sorry.
No problem. I'll go to Ken.
So Pete, my question on this, are you talking of this decade, 2020 till now, or are you talking literally the last 10 years?
Now, because that's when he was drafted.
Okay, so then yes. If you were talking the other way, I was going to say Johnny Manziel.
Yeah. Yes, that's where I was going.
Manziel may be the biggest bust of the entire 10 decades. I mean, he was right. He was horrible.
If you're talking since 2020, then yeah, I think so. But I literally had that note. I wasn't sure if you were talking the last 10 years because Johnny Manziel was going to be my answer.
Rosen's another good call out, Sam. I agree with that too there. Gene, he's looking down at you thinking, why is Gene Fitzmagic in the box right there?
You know, it started out just really, really good. Draft night, his hot mom, everything was looking really great. And then he took the field. and then he took the field. And all I can say at this point, I have three words to say. Move along, please.
Move along, please. Well, Ryan Leaf, that's, of course, over the years is another big name. Justin, what do you think? I got a good comment to finish this out. Aaron Rodgers is not a bust, Tina. How could he? He's a potential Hall of Fame. Go ahead, Justin.
Aaron.
I got a phone call earlier, and he said, we're looking for bust. Josh Rosen was my first phone call. My second one was Paxton Lynch. Everybody remember Paxton Lynch?
Ooh.
A first rounder.
I remember. I have his jersey in my closet.
Well, next show you need to wear the Paxton Lynch jersey.
That don't fit no more.
Yeah, Wilson hasn't even gotten. Listen, it's been what, 3 years? I think he's had 2 different offensive coordinators, maybe 3. He's inconsistent, but he's still young, and there's still time. Rosen is I don't know where the heck he is, and Paxton Lynch failed in the USFL or XFL or CFL or T-ball or whatever the heck he's playing.
T-ball.
Here's the other thing. Gene kind of mentioned it. I was waiting for this at the end, but Gene kind of took a little thunder. But that's good. I like that. Is you talked about his hot mom on a draft night. Tim Tebow. I don't know if Tim Tebow was a bust there. I mean, he did what we thought we would do.
He has a playoff win.
He had a couple big wins.
That's true. He does. Hot mom at the draft, right? Quarterback. Now everybody expected him to go lower than he did. He went higher. There's a quarterback that had his hot mom and his sisters there this year that we'll be curious to see if he does anything. And that's a young man out of, was it, Kentucky, right? At the draft that did that. So interesting. Yeah, interesting.
I made a joke recently that he better propose now to that girlfriend of his because it's going to be downhill, I think, in the NFL for him.
Yeah, I would
propose now. Propose on a high note. You just got drafted. Propose now.
Get on that. All right, before we hit our last topic, I want to highlight a couple things. One, let's talk about it. I'll be doing this with Gene on Tuesday nights. We're going to be Tuesday Night Live starting in the season where we will be recapping the week's activities. We'll be talking about all the plays, hopefully have some pictures, highlights, all that kind of good stuff. It's going to be a full recap show live with you every Tuesday night as soon as the season kicks in. So I am really excited about that. We have a survivor pool going already. We already have like 80 people in it already. It's $25 a team to get in. You can have as many teams as you want. Pick one team each week to win. No spreads involved. One team each week to win. $25 a team to get in. The last 3 years, it's paid out over $7,000 to the winner. I've been doing this now for 14 years, 15 years, something like that. So if you want in on the survivor pool, if you want information, send me an email, PeteMcDevittShow@gmail.com, and I will send you the information. PeteMcDevittShow@gmail.com. Money is due in when you register. It's that simple. We don't play around with that to go there. And I want to highlight this. I know this is a football show, but I cross over all of my shows. Monday night with Mouse Talk, I am now doing we're calling it the Baltimore Birdbath Chat. We're talking Orioles baseball. We're talking Major League Baseball. That is Monday nights. First episode is up and running. It did really well. We had a lot of people watching. Hopefully, if you're a fan and you happen to be an Orioles fan, you'll consider. My Discord, Joy S. is in charge of my Discord, and it's doing really well. We got over 250 people over there. We're talking sports. We're talking Star Wars, Marvel, Disney, and all kinds of other stuff. Jump over there to our Discord. It's free, no charge at all. We'd love to have you come in. And last, I'm really excited about the affiliate of Dugout Mugs, and if you use our code that the moderators are going to drop into the chat, and you use our link, you can get a large amount off of it. I think it's close to $17 off. You can get all the wood bat versions. You can also get the steel versions. It's all major league teams, and it is all of the minor league teams that are available. I got one here. They sent me a sample, which these things, honestly, they're bigger than I thought they were, and they're pretty cool. They sent me the Phillies one because Preston big on the Phillies, but it's a really cool concept, and Father's Day is coming. Close away, a couple days away, of something for Dad maybe on that. All right, final topic of the night. I'm going to let Ken start it up because he's back in with us here. I'm ranking the NFL divisions. I found this online, and I agreed with it. I thought it was right on point, so I stuck with it. I kind of feel pretty solid about it. I want to see, where do you guys think? Do we have to move a division up? Do we move a division down? Is the right one the number one division now? This is the first time in years that somebody would sit and put the AFC East number one. And I'm kind of excited about it. I like the change. What do you think?
Yeah, I was looking through this list, trying to see if there's anything that I would change whole division-wise, and I don't think so. I may move some teams around as far as there, but I don't know if that's what you're going for. I do think that the Jets, Gene did not pay me to say this, I do think the Jets will probably win the AFC East. And that's just because of Aaron Rodgers. Now, my issue with Rodgers, and this is coming from a Packers fan, is that he can never seem to win in the playoffs. Maybe he does this year. But as far as changing the order of these, I don't see anything right now that I would swap.
Okay. Real quick, I want to tell CGH, be safe. He's got a bunch of weather going around his house, so be safe. And your friend E. E, I hope you subscribe to the channel because I broadcast a ton of Ravens games, and I absolutely love this guy. I'm glad he's here. Hit me up with the subscribe tonight, E, and come back and hang with me when I do the game.
He's a good dude.
Good. I love it. He's a Ravens fan. I love it. Gene, what do you think? I got your division up at number 1.
Yeah, I agree with number 1 and 2 and 7 and 8. In the middle is where I have a little bit of a difference. I have the in third the AFC West, in fourth the NFC East, and then I also flip flop the NFC North and West. There, I put the West as the number 6. Other than San Francisco, we don't really know if Seattle is going to be what they were last year. But I do love what's going on in the NFC North. I think the Vikings are legit. The Lions are coming. And if Love turns out to be half decent in Green Bay, they're going to be decent as well. And then, again, the Bears, the young team, they're not ready to compete yet, but they're going to be a young team that's going to be better than they were last year. So that's the division on the rise.
Yeah, if there was one thing I could flip-flop, it would be 5 and 6. I went back and forth on that because of where it's at. I think the two teams to the right on either side are going to be your question marks. Sanudo, what do you think?
Yeah, I do like the top. The AFC North and the NFC East, I'm okay with flipping those two.
Okay.
In fact, I may even say the AFC West may be just as good as the AFC North. One thing I will say is I think the South is going to be much better than what people anticipate. And I think the North is going to be the NFC North is going to be much worse than people think. So actually, I'd flip 8 and 6 as well. So that's where I'm going to go.
Like it. That's the first time I had an NFC South call out. Bryson, what do you think?
Hashtag I believe in love.
That's gonna be your thing in the chat now. From now, I want to see that all the time.
You got it.
Make the bumper sticker.
Make a shirt.
I would flip 3 and 4, not just because my team's in 4, but I think that the division as a whole, the bottom teams are better than the bottom teams in 3. So that's why I'd move them. I agree with Sanudo. I think the NFC South is way better than worst division. I don't know. I agree with that. That's a good move. I don't know. 6, 7, somewhere in there. AFC South, I think's good, but I kind of think they're all in a prove it mood. So I'll leave them there. Prove it mode. And yeah, it all looks good. All that, yeah, I'm done.
We've covered a ton of topics tonight that, it's tough in the off season when you're working through stuff because the NFL has these lulls, where there's not a lot going on. And we're kind of in a lull period here, but I thought we pulled some good topics together and had some good chat. And I thought the chat itself was phenomenal again tonight. Let's go around real quick and talk about what we got going. Bryson, how about you first? Tell everybody about what you got going on your social media platforms.
Currently it's been just my wife doing Instagram, which she does a great job at. I took a little break for the last month on YouTube. Just felt a little burnout coming. So whenever I feel that, I just kind of step back, take a break. Now I'm getting back into things. Got our Vero Beach trip that I'm going to be editing. And we stayed at the cabins at Fort Wilderness for the first time, which was awesome. So I got a whole thing about that. So yeah, it'll be a good time. And summer means trips to the mountains and lots of fishing, and it's going to be a good time.
Well, that's good stuff. I always look for fishing content, so that's good stuff. Check out our friends for the Love of the Mouse. We're dropping their link in there right now. Team Marie's doing it. Sam H., welcome to the Showtime crew. Thank you for subscribing. Justin, what do you got going? You got a show. You got your shows on Wednesday night. They're doing pretty well.
Yeah, Wednesday, 8 p.m. I do what my wife tells me. I don't know what's going on. As I say lately, every time I come on Pete's show, go look at my wife's shorts. They're really good.
I'm not touching that one at all. That's Escapade to PJJ. The link are right there in the chat. Oh, my God. So now go to Gene. The Pop-Off show is good. I enjoy it. It was really, really good today. I was listening to it while I was talking with another friend saying it was pretty good. What do you got going over there?
Yeah, we're so we moved for the summertime. We're going to be Tuesdays and Thursdays, at least till Labor Day. And then at that point, we'll reevaluate if we want to go back to more days. But right now, we're going to be Tuesdays and Thursdays, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. It's always usually me, Caleb Pinkett, Nigel Downer, and then we have a couple of different people that kind of rotate around us. So yeah, and we have a good time talking sports. And then also starting next Tuesday, I don't have a time yet. I'll find out the time tomorrow. But next Tuesday, I am joining Big Fat Panda for the Disney content. We're going to be working with Big Fat Panda now. I'll be over there, and we'll be doing the Disney Underground will be now a part of the Big Fat Panda channel. So go check me out over there. If you already know Panda, which a lot of people already know him, great guy. Just go check us out over there. We'll be there on Tuesday nights again. I don't know what time yet, but I'll know by tomorrow, and I'll let everybody know.
Yeah, I'll be highlighting and helping. I want to see you have success with that, and I think the world of you guys, and of course, John and Joey's arms will be there. They'll be all iced up and lubed up and whatever he does on his arms, right? Joey,
Joey, it's actually Sammy. The wrong D. It's Sammy.
Wrong
D.
D.
Will be on that show.
Sammy's over there with, Joey's still have to take it over there with Mike.
Yes, Mike. He'll be over on Mondays with Mike with the DVC.
And that's Joey D, of course, who's on our days. He'll probably be on our next week's show because I rotate all the guys around. And Ken, what do you got going? You're now doing fitness. Is that the focus?
It is, yeah. I've in the last year I've had, as you know, last time I was on the show I was Ken the content coach, right?
Right.
Got a new job, moved to Wisconsin, set my house on fire, which was awesome. And so the house is almost done. Floors are going in, all that stuff. We're still in the rental right now, but once I'm back over there, yeah, I'll be getting back on YouTube doing some some food prep stuff, some fitness stuff, and it's pretty much what I'm doing right now is short form content workouts. So. Life is good. I love being back here. Thanks, Pete.
I appreciate you being here. All the links for the guys have been dropped in the chat. If you're watching on the replay and the chat's not up yet, you can find them on the front of my YouTube channel. You can click and go right to them every way. Also on my website, PeteMcDivittShow.com, featuring a highlight. We can't do the show without quality people. These are all quality people as part of our group. The chat is great. Thank you to the moderators again tonight for doing all this stuff. Can I get a beard? No, I'm not even going to comment right now about a beard because it makes Tina Marie's place giggle because she goes a whole different avenue. We'll just stay away from that. Thank you guys for being here tonight. Look for me tomorrow, Orioles and the Cubs in the afternoon, and Sunday I'll be back with football, USFL action, Sunday night for Father's Day. Come join me, hang out with me, and watch a little bit of football. It's always good to have football in your life. You can have it here with us, 365. We'll see you next time, everybody.